Let's talk about lesson 1. Lesson 1 talks about choices. Okay, now let's talk about one thing, that is underlying beliefs and assumptions. Many of us have underlying beliefs that tell us that we are not worthy above our patience and the life we imagine. We may have underlying belief that we don't deserve success. We may have doubts about our abilities, talents, and capabilities. Okay, let's talk about lesson 2. Okay, lesson 2 talks about bad victim mindset. It's one of the things we talk. So, victim mindset is like, for example, like you don't like to say something. For example, you are the victim of everything. Like the book doesn't explain anything, but you are not trying to understand the thing. And another thing is a growth mindset, that it's a belief that through effort and persistence we can develop our abilities and intelligence. One quote that I really like about this lesson is that entrepreneurs are detectives, not fortune tellers. What I understand about this, that we look for something. That's what I understand. That we look about something. We are not like waiting for things come out of the sky. Enthusiastic but somewhat unexpected. Seeing a problem to solve and having desire to work towards a solution is more powerful than being full of experience. Lesson 3. Okay, lesson number 3. Talk about action. 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 So action can cause changes in merely thinking. And one of the most important things about this lesson is fear. That sometimes fear makes us like fear to do something. Our greatest barrier to do something is fear to take an action. For example, you want to be something, but fear makes that block. Also, we can see fear in school, and it's a barrier of students. And what happens when students fear in classroom, that you don't like to progress, and that leads to vulnerability. And vulnerability makes you like weak. Lesson number 4. Okay. This lesson is more easier, well, I think. So, Model 1 talks about knowledge. Knowledge could be gained through experiences, trying new things, and learning from mistakes for some people. And we can see 4 types of conscious component matrix. One is that not aware of a skill you lack, and actually working in a skill, and so skilled that you don't have no longer to think about being competent. Okay, that's the 4 types of component matrix. Okay, and module 2, which is the methods of learning. Formal learning. Formal learning is when you go to school and learn something. For example, I'm in the classroom and the teacher is teaching me something. That's formal learning. You're going to the school, to college, and you're learning for someone who is a professional. Informal learning is when you learn something in your house, like through experiences you learn from others. Okay? So let's move on model number 3, which is entrepreneurial education. Experimental learning is an entrepreneurial education, and it's experiential because it combines what we learn in classroom with real world experiences. And then is a divergent thinking, that is thinking in usual and creative ways to generate several possible solutions to a problem. And moving on to model 4, talks about the connection between knowledge and effort. The most successful people in a domain are those that work hard and soak knowledge in tricks and sponges. The 3 types of knowledge is that is a belief of something we hold, an assumption, and fact. And a fact is something that actually exists. And the last model is life learning, that we need to remember that learning involves satisfying and curiosity. Lesson number 5. This lesson talk about I'm sorry. Talks about resourcefulness. And being resourceful is the ability to overcome difficulties and solve problems using the resources you have available. Okay? And we can use also time as a resource. Time is a tool of resource that we should use to our advantage. Life is full of distractions, and before we know it, time slips away. It is important that you visualize the time you are using. And we can use time as margins. Just as we can find time in the margins, we can stop wasting time in the margins. We break our concentration. Another thing is people as a resource. We can obtain knowledge and support from people around us. It is important to be surrounded with people who can help you and mentor. That's benefit us. In mentoring, we need to reach out for people who may give us advices, listen what they say, because if we listen, we might be inspired by the wisdom of those closest people to us. Now the last lesson, readability. Yes, so sad. It's the last lesson. I know. Oh, where are my markers? Oh, I think I lose them. I'm sorry. I'll just find the red. Okay. So, what is readability? Readability is when someone trusts you. You are trust to everyone. For example, you are in a project and someone tells you, do this part, and you do it. That's readability. That someone trusts. You are readability. You are doing that. You're doing your responsibilities. A brainstorm is like you're being trusted, and you have knowledge. And another important thing about this lesson is reputation. Reputation is a common opinion of people have of someone. What immediately comes to your mind when you think about someone, And always it's better to have a good reputation. For example, if you're educated, you're a nice person. When you say, for example, Ivan, oh, he's really educated, he has a good reputation, It's always really important to have a good reputation, because if you have a bad one, that's really bad for you. People think that you're not good, Some people will give you away. And changing now for what it's about. And a brand for a company is like the reputation for a person. You earn reputation by trying to do hard things well, For example, like Apple, Sarah, and those brands have really good reputation. But what is a personal brand? Our reputations can create our personal brand. Although our personal brand may include things such as know how we dress, personality traits, or even activities we're involved with. Reputation is tied to our actions. Okay, that's all for this part. And now we're going to be moving on about types of communication. And for example, an implicit message is one that were spoken or implied. Like, you didn't say it that well, In James, and you can understand this more, explicit is a message that it's a clearly expressed that you explain in real life. Implicit just like, this thing, That's the difference between these types of communication. And explicit is more explained than implicit, like in small words. And I put it wrong that part. Is this implicit? You don't talk that much. You talk a lot in the explicit. Talk. A good quote is that enthusiastic the unexpected. And thanks for hearing. Hope you pay attention. Thank you. See you next episode. Bye.